Now in previous lecture we have seen control group of instructions, right? In previous lecture we have seen branch control group of instruction. Now that includes conditional call, unconditional call, and we have seen return, which is an unconditional return, and after that we have seen conditional return, right? Now besides this we have seen jump instruction, which is an unconditional jump. After that we have seen conditional jump, right? Now after that we have seen restart n instruction, RST n instruction, right? Now all these jump, call and return, restart will come under the branch control group of instruction. Now all these are again available in unconditional form and also in conditional form, right? Now there ends the fourth category of instruction set. Now coming to fifth category of instruction set, we will discuss in this lecture, that is stack, IO and machine control group of instruction, right? Now the last set of instruction set, that means last category of instruction set we are going to discuss in this lecture, that includes the stack instructions, IO instructions and machine control group of instruction, right? Now let us see one by one. Now coming to IO instruction, right? Now this includes input and output instruction, right? Now under this IO instructions we have only two different instructions, right? Under this IO instructions we have only two different instructions. Now let us see one by one. Now the first one is in address. Now the first one is in address, right? Now this address is of 8-bit only, right? This address is of 8-bit only, and this, whatever the address that is specified within the instruction, now that will store some data, right? Now that data is moved to your accumulator, right? Now whatever the address that is specified within the instruction, now that address will store the data. Now that data is moved to the accumulator. In indicates you are moving the contents of the address that is specified within the instruction to the accumulator, right? Now this is first instruction under your IO instruction. Now coming to second instruction, out address. Coming to second instruction, out address. Now this is inverse operation, right? Now here we are inputting the contents of address to the accumulator. Now here the contents of A are moved to the address, right? Now whatever the contents are there, whatever the contents that are stored under your accumulator register, now that is moved to the address that is specified within the instruction, right? Now this is about IO instruction, input and output instruction, right? Coming to fifth category of instruction set, that includes stack instructions, IO instructions and machine control group of instruction. Now first let us see IO instruction, input and output instruction. Now these instructions are only two different instruction. One is in address and another one is out address, right? Now in address, now address is of 8-bit, right? Now this address will store some data. Whatever the data that is stored in this address, that is moved to the accumulator, right? Now the address will store some data, right? Here we are specifying the address within the instruction. Now that address will store some data. Now that data is moved to the accumulator. That is the operation of in address, right? Now coming to out address, now A will store some data, accumulator has some data. Now that data is moved to the address that is specified within the instruction. Just reverse of. Under in instruction we are transferring the contents of the address to the accumulator. Under out instruction we are transferring the contents of the accumulator to the address that is specified within the instruction, right? Now these are about IO instruction. Now next we will see the stack instruction. Next category we will see about stack instruction, right? Next category we will see about stack instruction. Now let us see one by one. Now under stack instruction, the first instruction is push RP. See, in order to add some data to the stack, we will use push, and in order to remove the topmost data from the stack, we will use pop, right? Push is used to add the data onto the stack at the topmost level, and pop is used to remove the contents from the topmost level, from the stack, from the topmost level of the stack, right? Now first stack instruction is push RP. Now what is RP? Register pair. RP is nothing but register pair. Now how many register pair we have? HL is one register pair, BC is one register pair, and DE is another register pair, right? HL one register pair, BC is one register pair, and DE one register pair, right? Now these three register pair will store 16-bit data, right? As we have seen under the architecture of 8085. Now these 6 register, either they can be used individually as 8-bit register, or they can be used as a group as a 16-bit register like this, HL, BC and D, right? Now these are your register pairs that is denoted by RP, right? Now in order to move the contents of register pair, this register pair, either it may be HL or it may be BC or it may be DE, to the stack we will use push RP, right? Now push RP is used to push means adding, is used to push contents of register pair, either it may be HL or DE or BC, right? It is used to push the contents of register pair to stack, right? To stack. Now coming to next instruction, we have push PSW. Now what is PSW? Program status word, or sometimes it is called processor status word. In some textbooks you will see as program status word, and in some textbooks you will see as processor status word, right? Now this program status word is of how many bits? 8 bits, right? Now using this instruction, now we are pushing contents. Pushing is nothing but adding, right? You are adding contents of program status word to stack, right? You are adding contents of program status word to stack. This is the second instruction. Now coming to third instruction, we have pop RP. Pushing is used to add the data to the stack, and pop is used to remove the data from the stack, right? Next we have pop RP, just reverse operation. Push RP will add the contents of register pair to the stack. Now pop RP, right? Pop RP, that means it will pop. Pop means remove. I am writing here in bracket also. Pop means remove. Removing the contents of register pair. RP indicates register pair which was saved from stack, which is saved into stack, which was saved to stack, right? Now here using this instruction we have added the contents of register pair to the stack. Now I want to remove this content. I can use this instruction pop RP, right? Push is used to add the contents of register pair to the stack. Now pop is used to remove the contents of register pair which was saved to stack, right? Now similarly we have pop PSW, program status word, right? Using push PSW we are adding the contents of program status word to the stack. Now using pop PSW we can remove. Pop means remove. Removing the contents of program status word which was saved earlier, which was saved to stack, right? Now this is about stack instruction. Behind this you have few more also, right? Behind this you have few more also, right? Next, now let me briefly explain. Now coming to fifth category of instruction set, right? Fifth category of instructions under your instruction set, we have stack instructions, IO instructions and machine control group of instructions, right? Now under these three different types, first let us see about IO instruction. Now under IO instruction, which is nothing but input output instruction, now this includes only two instructions. One is in instruction and another one is out instruction, right? Now coming to in instruction, now the syntax is in address. Now this address is 8-bit, right? Now whatever the address that is specified within the instruction, now that will save some data, that will store some data. Now that data is moved to the accumulator, right? In address you are moving the contents of the address to the accumulator, right? Next we have out address, right? Just reverse operation, right? Now whatever the address that is specified within the instruction, to that address we are moving the contents of accumulator, just reverse operation, right? If you are moving the contents of address to the A, A, that we call it as in address. If you are moving the contents of accumulator to the address which is specified within the instruction, now that comes under out address, right? Now those are your two different input and output instruction. Now coming to stack instruction, the first instruction is push RP. Push is used to add the data, pop is used to remove the data, and these two operations are done for the stack, right? Push is used to add the data to the stack, pop is used to remove the data from the stack, right? Now the first stack instruction is push RP, right? We have push RP. Now what is RP? Register pair. We have three different register pair. One is HL, DE and BC, right? Now in order to move these contents of register pair to the stacks, right? What these register pair contents to the stack, we will use the instruction push RP, right? Now it will push the contents of register pair to the stack. Now that register pair may include either HL or DE or BC, right? And next we have push PSW. What is PSW? Program status word, or sometimes we call it as processor status word. Now this program status word is of 8-bit register, right? 8-bit register. Now using this instruction push PSW, we can push the contents of program status word to the stack, right? Program status word contents are moved to the stack using the instruction push PSW, right? Now coming to pop RP, right? Using this instruction we have added the data, and using this instruction we can remove that whatever the data that we have added, right? Now coming to pop RP, right? Now this is used to remove the contents of register pair, right? Contents of the register pair which was saved to stack, right? Now we pop RP. Now using push RP we have added the data of register pair to the stack. Now I want to remove that contents of register pair from the stack. Now I have to use this instruction pop RP, right? Now similarly pop PSW. Using push PSW we have added the contents of program status word to the stack. Now I want to remove the contents of program status word from the stack. I have to use pop PSW. Pop RP is used to remove the contents of register pair which was saved to stack, and similarly pop PSW, it is used to remove the contents of program status word which was saved to stack, and this saving was done by push RP and pop PSW, right? Now these are your 4 stack instruction. Now coming to 5th stack instruction, we have XTHL. Now the 6th instruction we have XTHL. Now this exchange the top of the stack data, right? Now using this instruction we can exchange the topmost data of stack with HL register pair, right? Now whatever the data which is available at the topmost of the stack, now that is exchanged with the contents of HL register pair using XTHL, right? Now XTHL is the instruction that is used to exchange the contents of register pair with the topmost data of the stack, right? Now that is your 5th instruction, 5th stack instruction. Now coming to 6th stack instruction, we have SPHL, right? It will move the contents of HL register pair to stack pointer, right? It will move the contents of HL register pair to stack pointer, right? To stack pointer. It will move the contents of HL register pair to stack pointer, right? Now these are your 6 stack instruction we have, right? These are your 6 stack instruction we have. What are those we have? We have push RP in order to move the contents of register pair to the stack. In order to remove that register pair contents, we will use pop RP, right? And those are your 2 instruction. Now next we have pop PSW and push PSW. In order to move the contents of program status word to the stack, we will use push PSW, and in order to remove the saved program status word contents, we will use pop PSW. right? Now those are your 4 instruction. Now coming to 5th stack instruction, that is XTHL, right? XT indicates exchange and HL is your register pair, right? Now using this instruction we can exchange the contents of HL register pair with the topmost data of the stack, right? You can exchange the contents of HL register pair with the topmost data of the stack using the instruction XTHL. XT indicates exchange and HL is your register pair, right? Now coming to 6th stack instruction, that is SPHL. Now SP is your stack pointer, right? SP is your stack pointer and HL is your register pair. Now using this instruction we can move the contents of HL register pair to the stack pointer, right? Whatever the contents that are stored under your HL register pair, those are moved to the stack pointer using the instruction SPHL, right? Now these are your 6 stack instruction. Next we will see machine control group of instruction, right? Next we will see machine control group of instruction. Machine control group of instruction, right? Now under this we have first instruction is your HLT. Now this indicates halt. What is meant by halt? Stop, right? HLT is your machine control group of instruction. Now it halts the processor. Using this instruction it halts the processor. Nothing but it will stop the processor in which it will stop the processor whether it may be under any process, whether it is doing processor or whether it is performing any operation. It will using this instruction we can halt that processor, right? HLT is an instruction used to stop the program, stop the processor, right? Whether it is doing some operation or whether it is not doing some operation, if you want to stop the processor from a particular execution, we have to use this instruction, that is HLT. HLT is used to stop the processor's execution, right? Now that is first machine control group of instruction. And next we have NOP. Now this indicates no operation. This indicates no operation, right? NOP indicates no operation. Now coming to third machine control group of instruction, now we have EI. Now when it is set to 1, all interrupts are enabled. Now interrupt enable. Now all interrupts are enabled. Using this instruction we can enable interrupts. Interrupt enable. EI indicates interrupt enable. Now we have seen under interrupt priority, or we have interrupt enable register, right? Under that we will have this flag, right? EI indicates interrupt enable, right? If you want to enable the interrupts you can use this instruction, right? If you want to disable interrupts we have to use DI. DI indicates disable interrupts and EI indicates enable interrupts. EI indicates enable interrupts. Enabling means to start its process. Disabling means you have to stop that process, right? Now these are your 4 machine control group of instruction. Next we have 2 more also, right? Next we have 2 more also, we will see after this, right? Now coming to machine control group of instruction, under this we have 6 different machine control group of instruction. First one is HLT. HLT is nothing but halt, right? Using this instruction we can stop the processor's execution. Halt is used to, HLT is an instruction used to halt the processor's execution, right? Now coming to second machine control group of instruction, that is NOP. NOP indicates no operation, right? NOP indicates no operation, and in order to enable the interrupts we have to use this instruction, that is EI. EI is used to enable the interrupts. That means interrupt can start its process, and if you want to stop the process of interrupt we have to give this instruction, disable interrupts, right? We have, in order to stop the processor's execution, now we will use the instruction HLT, that is halt, right? When there is no operation, that is indicated by the instruction no NOP, right? Now when you want to enable the interrupts, that means when you want to activate a particular interrupt. That means when you want to what I can say, when you want a interrupt to start its process, right? When a user want to interrupt to start its process, to start its execution, now we will use this instruction, that is enable interrupts, right? Enable interrupts is used to enable the interrupts, and that means interrupt can it can start its processing, right? Now disable interrupts, right? Now whatever the processing it is doing, a particular interrupt, whatever the process it is doing, if you want to stop that process, you have to give this instruction, that is disable interrupts, right? Enable interrupt is used to enable the interrupts, and disable interrupts is used to disable the interrupt, right? Now these are your 4 machine control group of instructions, right? Now after this we have 5th machine control group of instruction, that is SIM, set interrupt mask, right? SIM, that is set interrupt mask. SIM, that is set interrupt mask. Now this is an 8-bit register, right? SIM, that is set interrupt mask. This is an 8-bit register. Now let me represent that 8-bit notation. Now what is SOD? Serial out data, serial out enable, right? SOD is your serial out data, and SOE is serial out enable. Now this is don't care, that means you don't have a particular bit at this particular position, right? And next we have R7.5. now that indicates reset RST 7.5, right? What is RST 7.5? Which is an interrupt, right? Now resetting the 7.5 RST 7.5 interrupt, right? And next we have MSE, mark MSE, that is mask set enable, right? Mask set enable. And next we have M7.5, and next we have M6.5, and next we have M5.5, right? Now this is your SIM register, which is an 8-bit register, right? Now SIM, now using this instruction, it is used to implement masking or unmasking of RST 7.5, RST 6.5 and RST 5.5, right? Now we have interrupts RST 7.5 and RST 6.5 and RST 6.5, 5.5, 7.5, right? Now using this set interrupt mask, we can implement masking or unmasking of this interrupt 7.5, 6.5 and 5.5. Now masking means whether it is under process or not, right? If it is under process, we will call it as masking. If it is under not process, we call it as unmasking, right? Now it will perform serial out data, right? Now set interrupt mask is used to implement masking or unmasking of interrupt 7.5, 6.5 and 5.5. Along with that masking and unmasking implementation, it will perform serial output of data. That means you can send the data to the outside of your processor serially, right? Now let me briefly explain one by one. Now what is SOD? SOD is nothing but serial out data, right? SOD is nothing but serial out data, right? Now next we have SOE, that is serial out enable, right? In order to send the data outside of your microprocessor serially, now this has to set to 1. When it is set to 1, then only when it is set to 1 and also serial out data has to set to 1, then only you can send the data outside of your processor serially, right? Now in order to send your data outside of your processor serially, you have to enable this serial out, right? You have to enable this. Now a user want to send a data outside of your processor, right? Now SOE has to set to 1, then only he can send the data, and also SOD should also be 1, right? Now when it is 1, right, when it is 1, sending 8-bit data serially, right? Sending 8-bit data serially. When it is 0, now when it is 0, no data is sent. When it is 0, no data is sent. Now we have don't care here, right? We have don't care here. That means we don't have any particular operation at this particular bit. And next we have this is reset RST 7.5. Reset RST 7. You are resetting the interrupt RST 7.5, right? And next we have MSE, right? Next we have MSE. Now this includes mask set enable, right? Next we have MSE. Now this includes mask set enable. Now when it is 1, it will set the interrupts. That means it will set the interrupt is under process. When it is 0, interrupt is not under process. Right? Now mask set enable, right? When it will set the mask, right? When it is 1, you can set the interrupt is under process. When it is 0, you can't set the interrupt under process, right? And next we have mask 7.5, right? When it is 1, when it is 1, that means RST 7.5 is under mask. That means is under process. When it is 0, not under process. Now similarly, RST 6.5 is under mask, under process. When it is 1. Now similarly for 5.5, right? Now this is about set interrupt mask, right? This is about set interrupt mask, right? Now set interrupt mask is used to implement the masking or unmasking of the interrupts 7.5, 5.5 and 6.5. Now along this implementation of masking and unmasking of the interrupts, it can perform, that means it can send the data serially. It can send the data outside of your processor serially, right? Now this is an 8-bit register. Set interrupt mask is an 8-bit register. Now that includes this format: SOD starting from 0th bit 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We have 8 bits, right? Now 7th bit is serial out data, right? Now using serial out data, we can send the data serially outside of your microprocessor, right? For that purpose, it has to set to 1. Otherwise, it has to set to 0. If you want to send the data serially outside of your microprocessor, now before that sending the data outside of your microprocessor, you have to enable serial out, right? Then only you can send the data outside of your microprocessor. If SOE is 0, if SOE is 0 and SOD is 1, you can't send the data because serial out is not enabled. It is disabled. Enabled means position is 1, disabled means position is 0, right? SOD, I will come from 6th bit. 6th bit is your SOE, serial out enable, right? If you want to send the data outside of your microprocessor serially, right, you have to enable serial out, right? When it is 1, sending 8-bit data serially. When it is 0, you can't send the data, right? When it is 1 and this is 1, right, you can send the data serially. When it is 1 and this is 0, you can't send the data because serial out data is not present, right? Both has to set to 1 in order to send the data outside of your microprocessor serially, right? Whether it is 0 or 1, you can't send the data serially. Whether it is 1 and 0, you can't send the we can't send the data serially outside of your microprocessor, right? In order to send a data serially outside of your microprocessor, SOE, you have to enable serial out and you have to send the data serial out. Serial out data has to set to 1, right? That is the relation between SOE and SOD. Now 5th bit we don't have anything. Now next we have R7.5, right? Now this is used to reset RST 7.5. This particular bit is used to reset interrupt RST 7.5, right? And next we have mask set enable, MSE, right? Now this is used to mask or unmask the interrupts, right? When this is used to mask or unmask the interrupts, right? When it is 0, you can unmask the interrupts. When it is 1, you can mask the interrupts, right? Mask set enable, right? This is used to mask or unmask the interrupts, right? Masking means that masking or unmasking means whether the interrupt is under process or not, right? Whether the interrupt is under process or not. Mask set enable, it is used to mask or unmask the interrupts, right? Now mask RST 7.5, right? When it is 1, you can mask RST 7.5. When it is 0, you can't mask RST 7.5. Similarly for when it is 1, you can mask RST 6.5. When it is 0, you can't mask RST 6.5. When it is 1, you can mask RST 5.5. When it is 0, you can't mask RST 5.5. Masking or unmasking means whether the interrupt is under process or not, right? With checking whether the interrupt is under process or not, right? Now that is about set interrupt mask. And the last machine control group of instruction, right? Last machine control group of instruction, that is RIM, right? That is RIM, which is read interrupt mask. RIM stands for read interrupt mask and SIM stands for set interrupt mask, right? RIM stands for read interrupt mask. Now this is also an 8-bit register. First let me represent 8-bit notation. Now this is also an 8-bit register. Right, now this is your read interrupt mask. Now if you see this 8-bit format, we have serial out data under your SIM, right? Serial out data. If you want to send the data serially outside of your microprocessor, that is done through your SOD and SOE under your SIM instruction, right? Now here we have 7th bit. Now 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, right? Now this is your serial in data. Now what it indicates, you can receive the data serially from outside to your microprocessor when it is set to 1, right? When it is 0, you can't receive the data serially from outside to the microprocessor, right? Now this includes pending states. P indicates pending states, right? Now this pending states of your interrupt 7.5, 6.5 and 5.5, right? Now when it is 0, no interrupt request is pending. No interrupt request is pending when it is 0. For logic 1, a particular interrupt request is pending, right? Particular interrupt request is pending, right? Depending on your 7.5, when it is 0, this is not pending. RST 7.5 request is not pending. When it is 1, that particular interrupt request is pending. Now similarly, when it is 0, RST 6.5 interrupt request is not pending. When it is 1, that particular interrupt request is pending, right? When P 5.5 is 0, that particular RST 5.5 request is not pending. When it is 1, that RST 5.5 interrupt request is pending, right? Next we have IE. What is IE? Interrupt enable. In order to enable the interrupt, we will use this interrupt enable. In order to enable the interrupts, we will use this IE. When it is set to 1, you can enable the interrupts. When it is set to 0, you can disable the interrupt. You can't enable the interrupts, nothing but disable the interrupts, right? Now similarly, we have masking the interrupts, right? When it is 0, right? When it is 0, unmasking a particular interrupt. When it is 1, masking a particular interrupt, right? Now this is about your RIM instruction. Now this is used to read the status of the hardware interrupts, right? If you see whether they are masking or whether the request is pending or not, right? whether they are under mask or unmasked, whether the interrupts are whether the interrupt request is pending or not pending. That's why it is used to read the status of hardware interrupt, right? Now also reads the condition of SID, serial out data, right? Also reads the condition of SID, that is serial out data, right? Read interrupt mask is used to know the status, used to know the status of hardware interrupts, that is RST 7.5, 6.5 and 5.5. That means whether the interrupts are under pending state or under not pending state, whether they are under mask or unmasked, all these status can be viewed by this read interrupt mask. Now along with this we can serially receive the data from outside to the microprocessor, right? Now this is your 8-bit register. Now 8th bit is SID, serial in data. Now when it is set to 1, you can receive the data serially from outside to the microprocessor, right? When it is 0, you can't receive the data serially from outside to the microprocessor, right? Next we have pending RST 7.5, pending RST 6.5, pending RST 5.5, right? Now when it is 1, when pending, when it is 1, interrupt request is pending, interrupt RST 7.5 request is pending. When it is 0, RST 7.5 request is not pending, right? When now similarly pending RST 6.5, when it is 1, RST 6.5 request is pending. When it is 0, RST 6.5 request is not pending, right? Next we have P5.5, when it is 0, RST 5.5 interrupt request is not pending. When it is 1, RST 5.5 interrupt request is pending, right? And next we have IE interrupt enable. In order to enable the interrupts, this is set to 1. Now in order to disable the interrupts, that is set to 0. Enable is to process and disable is to not to process a interrupt, right? Now mask 7.5, mask RST 7.5, mask RST 6.5 and mask RST 5.5, right? Now these 3 bits are used to mask or unmask the interrupts RST 7.5, RST 6.5 and RST 5.5. When it is 0, unmasking of this particular interrupt, whether it is 7.5 or 5.5 or 6.5. When it is 1, this particular interrupt is under mask. That means whether the interrupt is under process or not, right? Now this is about your machine control group of instruction. Now here ends the instruction set, complete instruction set of 8085. In next lecture we will see the addressing modes of 8085, right? In next lecture we will see the addressing modes of 8085. There ends your second unit. Only the programming part is left out, right? With addressing modes and with the programming part, there ends your second unit, right? Thank you. In next lecture we will see about addressing modes, right? Thank you.